What's going on, y'all? It's Chris broadcasting from the D. There's a whole saga that's taking place in DC with a squatter situation. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Check out what's going on here.
All of the responsibilities are on me and I can't get into my property. There's a leak in the property. The water bill is escalating. I can't get in there to see what's going on.
A DC homeowner claiming an Airbnb guest has overstayed their welcome and will not leave. In this story, you'll only see on 7 News. We're digging into DC law, finding out there's not much that homeowner can do. Our Washington, D.C. reporter Felicia Ashley spoke with the homeowner and tried to speak with the alleged squatter.
The alleged squatter originally got into the home through Airbnb, claiming that her apartment caught fire and it needed time to get repairs. Now, that was back in February. Roshane Douglas says she didn't know she was opening her life up to a nightmare when she accepted Shadija Romero's Airbnb reservation almost 10 months ago. That reservation ended March 29th after 32 days, and Romero hasn't paid another dime. But living in the home for over a month apparently lets her claim some form of tenant rights, and she refuses to let Roshane enter the property.
I never gave her any tenancy. I never gave her a lease.
Roshane tried everything, gave her a 30-day notice to vacate, called police, went to court, and even offered Romero $2,500 to sign a paper admitting she's not a tenant and to get out.
Now, keep in mind, the Airbnb arrangement, it was through March, and she's just now been evicted a few days ago here in the month of December. So this woman, this has been a saga in totality for a good 10 months now.
Romero signed the document, but didn't budge.
November the 15th came and she told me, this no longer works for me. Do what you have to do. I'm not leaving. I went to the police with my order, and they said there's nothing that they can do, that I need to go to court, which I've done, and I do not have a court date until December the 11th.
Roshane put this sign up on her home so police and the neighbors would know Romero was not authorized to be there. A sign Romero covered with a sheet.
I need police assistance.
I was there when police helped Roshane cut it down, while Romero hid inside.
It's shocking to me that you would abuse a system like that.
While all this is going on, Romero's social media shows her living her best life on trips and promoting her nonprofit. And Roshane is left paying thousands in attorney fees, the mortgage, and utilities for a home she can't even enter.
Why is it always us when it comes to foolery like this? Here it is. You're in a woman's house. You're not supposed to be there. You're trying to fight her leaving. You're not paying her any rent of any sort. You paid the first month and then just stayed all you like every additional month afterwards. You're not giving her any money to stay there, but you out taking trips and shit. Just ridiculousness. And stuff like this, she chose the wrong one, because I know quite a few people that dabble in real estate, and a squatter behaving like this, let's just say they would have got a visit that they didn't want, and they would have left one way or another. That's the best way I could put it, man. Stuff like this, we just don't see that often in Detroit, because people are willing to put in a phone call to some people that'll solve the problem for them in a not so nice way.
I tried to get some answers from Romero, who was clearly inside the home, but she never came to the door. When a person walked out to her car, they didn't want to talk to us either. Roshane is waiting now for her court date next week, where she's hoping the judge's decision will allow U.S. Marshals to force her unwanted guest out once and for all. For now, reporting from Northeast D.C., Felicia Ashley, 7 News.
7 News has been reporting on reforms to rental housing laws in the district. Back in September, City Council passed the Rental Act. Supporters of the legislation say D.C. landlords lost more than $1 billion in unpaid rent since eviction moratoriums were lifted in 2021. The measure simplifies the eviction process and allows landlords to remove tenants who violate their leases by not paying rent. Those against the act say it takes away protections for tenants. Our investigative reporter John Barr has been following the Rental Act. You could read what's in that measure right now on WJLA.com.
You know, I've dealt with a squatter before, not with my own property, but just being in real estate, being a realtor. And usually, if you don't want to go through all the trouble of evicting them and you don't want to put in some phone calls on them, knocking on the door and talking to them and offer them a few dollars will make them go on their way. They'll probably go squat somewhere else, but they'll go on their way. I remember some years ago, and this was for a really good client of mine. She bought so many houses for me. Uh, there was one particular house because she used to buy homes in really bad areas and fix them up and put like tenants in them, single moms and stuff. She's making a killing doing that. And this one particular house that she wanted to get, it was like over near what I want to say 7 Mile Losser, somewhere in that area. There was a squatter there, and she was so stressed about it because she's been through the whole eviction process before. And so I went over there, knocked on the door. They came to the door. I was nice. You know, I didn't seem threatening. I'm dressed suit and tie or whatever. I'm driving a nice vehicle. And I said, "Hey, listen, man, let me level with you. I have a client that wants to buy this house, and she can't close on it if you're here. So how about I offer you a couple $100 to just go wherever, just leave this property so we can go ahead and move forward with our thing, and I'll give you a couple $100." And he was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." So I pulled out two crispy $100 bills and handed it to him. He left. So the reason why I mention that is because in this case, she offered this woman $2,500. So she offered this woman way more than I gave my squatter I was dealing with. And she still wouldn't budge. So that had to be mad frustrating that you offered the woman a sum of money that was way more than she really deserves for the BS that she pulling, and she still stood 10 toes down and tried to grind her heels in the situation anyway.
Good afternoon, Felicia Ashley with ABC7. I'm in Northeast DC, just off 20th Street, because a woman called us desperate for help because she says she cannot get a squatter out of her home. She said the woman first booked her home in an Airbnb reservation for 32 days back in February. The woman claimed in her reservation that her previous apartment had caught on fire and she was waiting for repairs. However, when I looked into this, I went into the court records and I found that she was actually getting evicted from her apartment for not paying rent. After she lived there for a year, she only paid 1 month's worth of rent and owed her apartment complex nearly $50,000 around that same time of her evictions when she booked this Airbnb.
See the pattern here? She told the woman whose Airbnb this is that she needed a place to stay because there was fire damage in her previous place. She just needed somewhere temporary to be while the repairs on her other place, her primary residence, are being done. That was a total lie. What was happening was she was being evicted from the other place for doing exactly what she did here. She paid 1 month of rent and then just stayed there. And now the jig was finally up. She was finally being booted and needed a place to go, and then found this woman and decided to prey on her. So yeah, she has a pattern of lying. She has a pattern of being a deadbeat and a squatter and not paying her bills.
You can see the homeowner put a plaque on there with a public notice saying that the person inside is unauthorized. You can see the guest has draped a blanket over the sign.
What is that supposed to do?
We're now going on month 10 of this. Now the homeowner has gone to the cops. She's filed for multiple orders and motions. She's even given a 30-day eviction notice months ago, and the woman will not budge. In addition to that, now the woman is pushing back and filing motions against the homeowner. The homeowner says that the guest keeps calling the police every time the homeowner comes and making fake allegations against her. In the midst of that, the The guest is not paying while she's been here for nearly 9 months, going on 10, while the homeowner is stuck paying thousands of dollars for attorney fees and as well as the bills for this home, like the mortgage and utilities, all while the guest inside is seen on social media going on trips and turning up in Jamaica, going out.
That's
and also
crazy.
promoting
Still
her
paying the
nonprofit.
mortgage and you're not making any money.
What is coming up next? The homeowner has gone to court. She filed an emergency order. She's hoping that in December the judge will honor a agreement that the homeowner made with the alleged squatter, because back in November, after so many months of dealing with this, the homeowner said, hey, I will pay you to get out of my home and also admit that you are not a tenant. The squatter signed that document but still would not budge, and that was just over 2 months ago. So we've actually gone up to the door and tried to get the person to come out to speak to us as to why they're not leaving. We also approached someone that was going to their car, and they did not want to speak with us, but the homeowner says it's putting her in distress, causing her financial and emotional turmoil. Meanwhile, there's a stranger in her home living rent-free.
You know, this whole thing, this isn't even my problem, and it's very frustrating to me because the woman is going through the proper channels. I said this before about other things. You want people to do things the right way. You want people to do things legally. Well, the criminal can't be treated better than the victim. If you want people to do things the right way needs to work. The right way needs to produce results. She's trying to do things the right way, and this is a saga that's been going on 9-10 months, where if she would have did things the not so right way, one phone call or a couple phone calls, whatever, this could have been dealt with in a matter of hours. She would have, nightfall would have came, and by dawn the woman would have been gone from there one way or another. So again, I don't believe in squatters' rights. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I think, especially here in DC, when it clearly is so easy to exploit them, they really need to change this or just eliminate it altogether. The fact that the woman was like, let me stay here for 32 days, which we see now, that was intentional. She knew full well what she was planning on doing long before she got here. She planned from the outset to do exactly what she's doing here because she was now vacating a situation she was already in where she had just executed this and it didn't work out. So I feel so bad for this lady, man, because this it's not fair, and trying to go through the proper channels, it's delay after delay after delay after delay after delay. It's costing her thousands of dollars. It's just a really frustrating ordeal through and through.
New tonight, another twist in a bizarre Airbnb battle. 7 News has exclusively told you about a homeowner in Northeast DC who says a squatter has taken over her short-term rental. But that alleged squatter claims she's a tenant with rights. All new at 6 o'clock. Our Felicia Ashley.
How do you claim to be a tenant with rights?
The first time the
paying 1 month in the Airbnb
has refused to leave a property.
I found court records revealing that Romero stayed in multiple properties in and around D.C. rent-free for months while they went through the eviction process. Court records show at your previous apartment you were also getting evicted for not paying rent. And
So that wasn't for that place. It was for a previous place where something happened during COVID when everyone was not receiving payment. I'm an entrepreneur and I also have a nonprofit.
How does that change what she said? First off, it wasn't for a place before the last one. It was for the last one. But hypothetically, let's say it was for a different one. You still got evicted for not paying. So you didn't exactly disprove what she was saying. You just tried to lie and claim that it was a different time than what it was because reasons.
Records show Shadija Romero faced eviction from 2 other D.C. properties before booking Roshane Douglas's Airbnb nearly a year ago. I reviewed the records with real estate attorney.
It was 2 properties, not one.
Going down the docket here, she knows what she's doing. So this isn't the first rodeo.
Court records show that in October 2021, she had a year lease at the Jameson at Dakota Apartments. Those owners also filed a suit against Romero.
And it's crazy how it keeps being in October. So she
stayed months.
This is
past the end
definitely
of her lease
systematic.
and did not pay anything between May 2022 and January 2023. She also signed a legal agreement to pay the Jameson $35,000 in back rent, but she did not follow through with that agreement. She was officially evicted 8 months after she stopped paying.
So she didn't pay the $35,000 in back rent owed for the previous place. Apparently, the last one that she was at, which is the one that came after the 35,000 place, she owed somewhere upwards of 60,000 for that one, and we know they're never going to see that. And she doesn't work a regular job. She's an entrepreneur with her own business, so they can't really garnish her wages because whatever little underhanded business that she's claiming to do. Man, listen, I swear, every sister that tries to peddle some merch online swears they're an entrepreneur. That word is so overused nowadays. It's ridiculous. Like, everyone that's selling some friendship bracelet or teas out of their living room is suddenly an entrepreneur.
I did not go to court for eviction for Ava Noma.
5 days after she was evicted from the Jameson, records show she moved into Ava Noma. She paid 1 month's rent and owes them nearly $50,000. The property tried to evict her multiple times, but there was a fire, which I confirmed with DC Fire and DMS started in her unit while she was there. Ava Noma is the one showing that you were in the process of being evicted for paying 1 month's rent when you were there for 13.
So no, that would not be accurate.
Again, court documents show Romero filed a motion to delay the eviction, this time citing the fire and saying insurance needed to see the damage in the unit. She booked the Airbnb as she was getting evicted from that property. I found multiple tenant and landlord cases against her in and around D.C. when she went by a different name at the time. In addition to that, I saw at least a
different name
against her, as well as a case claiming that she paid for a down payment for a vehicle and made no other payments after that. Now, since these...
She even doing that with vehicles? Man, I cannot believe. Wow.
Discoveries, Romero has said that she is not speaking to us anymore. For now, reporting from the D.C. Bureau, Felicia Ashley, 7 News.
And today's 7 News getting results in the case between the D.C. homeowner and the woman who was squatting in her home. Thanks for joining us tonight. You're seeing it right there. I'm Scott Thuman.
And I'm Michelle Marsh. Our Washington, D.C. reporter Felicia Ashley has been exclusively reporting on this story for more than a week now. Today, a judge ruling in favor of the homeowner who says an Airbnb guest was trying to take her home.
Our Washington, D.C. reporter Felicia Ashley joining us now from that house where the judge says the squatter cannot stay anymore, has to get out. Felicia?
That's right. And this is actually one of the first times the homeowners have been back to the home in a couple of months. And as you mentioned, the judge ordered that the alleged squatter is not a tenant. Therefore, she has no tenant rights. And the homeowners were allowed to get her out of the home and evict her immediately. And that is what you are seeing. We have community members that actually came here to support the homeowners and help clear out the home after watching the reports and hearing what the homeowners are dealing with. And even inside the home, you can see some of the area that they have started clearing as well. The homeowner mentioned to me that she has been in shock and everything that was with everything that was inside of this home, as well as some of the damage that she found as well. Before court, I spoke to D.C. homeowner Rashane Douglas. What have your dynamics been like with Ms. Romero since the last time we spoke?
We've had no contact directly since that time. Obviously, she had the van towed. She also denied the electrician to get in and came down here and filed a contempt that we didn't comply with the agreement.
I tried to check in with accused squatter Shadija Romero when she showed up to court.
Her name is Shadija, because of course it is. This sounds like Shadija type activities. Like, really, only someone with a name like Shadija would do this type of stuff.
Ms. Romero, would you like to speak with us before
and be so self-righteous in how they're the victim?
You don't want to say anything before the hearing? Filming is not allowed inside the D.C. courthouse, but I was inside the nearly 2-hour hearing. The judge upheld this agreement that I previously reported on. The homeowners had Romero sign it in October, but she didn't follow through. The homeowners agreed to pay her to leave their property. And in black and white, Romero confirmed she was a short-term Airbnb guest, not a tenant, that there is no lease, no tenancy, and that she has no tenant rights. The judge said you can evict her.
So she knew this all along. You see, she knew this all along, but she knew that the process of getting rid of her would take a very long time. And that's why this has played out the way that it has. All intentional.
Right now, what are your plans? What are you about to do?
Evict her. She has to go. I need her out of the property so that I can try to regain the property and get back to my life.
And that is what you're seeing happening right now. That is what the homeowners got right to after that order was filed. You can see some of the home, or actually most of the home, is rather clear now. Now, coming up at 6, I'm going to share more details about what happened in the courtroom. Also about how this has impacted the homeowners long term. Now, because of the missed payments, their mortgage raised from $4,000 a month to nearly $10,000 a month because of what they endured during this process. And more was revealed about Romero inside the courtroom. For now, reporting live from Northeast DC.
$10,000 a month.
All right, Felicia, thank you. And this story has been getting a lot of attention. People are invested in this story.
Let's read some of these text messages. So you can basically just steal anyone's house in DC if you can manage to stay there for 30 days. Insane. Absolutely insane. There needs to be something done. That woman essentially stole thousands of dollars from the homeowner in electricity. Yeah. Property taxes, water, etc. How is it that she gets to walk free, especially after producing a forged document in court? And she keeps doing this. This woman is the best case that anyone could make for why squatters' rights need to be totally abolished. Because look how someone who is bold enough can just like starve you out, essentially. Like, she knew the situation that she was creating for that woman, and she didn't care. She couldn't care less. Says, you've taught all of us a lesson. She's a scammer and we all see it. The laws really need to change. It's so upsetting to know someone can get away with this. To present a fake payment document in court, over the top. I am speechless that she went that low. Of course, if the person was willing and is willing to do the same whole, oh, I'll pay for the first month and then stall you out for the next 10 to 12 months over and over and over, you shouldn't be surprised that they're willing to produce a fake payment document in court. So happy for the homeowner. Felt like we all won. Beautiful reporting on this story and keeping us all updated on the developing case. Good work. And the last one here says, I have never been so happy for a stranger in my life. She is finally going to get her property back. Thank God. Yeah, this
strong reaction from folks.
This case was crazy.
In the DMV, take a look. Just a handful of the comments.
And if you think the woman has learned any lesson behind this, you'd be wrong. She believes she's the victim
here. The woman was
here.
able to stay so long, as well as support for the homeowner. One viewer writing, quote, I have never been so happy for a stranger in my life. She is finally going to get her property back. So we want to hear from you. Do you think DC should change its housing
laws? It says
the
3% that say no are squatters.
On your screen to vote right now. The answer right now, very overwhelming. Yes.
Tonight, 7 News on your side, continuing pressing DC leaders if they plan to change any laws to help prevent squatting.
Our exclusive reporting getting results for a Northeast homeowner who now has her home back from that squatter. 7 News Washington, D.C. reporter Felicia Ashley joining us live now with the changes people want to see.
That's right. Well, people overwhelmingly expressed their disgust with the situation, as well as the process that it took to stop it.
Yeah, it made national news.
We were there as D.C. homeowner Roshane Douglas evicted her squatter, Shadija Romero.
Look at all of this stuff.
Exclusive reporting getting
Look at all of that stuff
from around the world, asking how this happened and what can be done to make sure it doesn't happen again. This commenter said, quote, "Now go to your city council and local government. We went right to city council and we also spoke to the mayor today." What has been your reaction to it? And do you think there needs to be some adjustments or reevaluations to some of the housing laws?
Well, that's what I've been talking about for at least a year, is that we have to have a focus on people paying their rent, and that the courts and our laws ensuring that people do that.
Councilman Zachary Parker gave us
That was not a satisfying answer. That was a non-answer. She asked her were things going to change, and she gave a very political answer that said nothing.
this statement saying, "I am glad that yesterday's court ruling brought a resolution to this case. My team and I are reviewing district laws to better understand how this was allowed to happen."
To get squatted on like that is crazy.
The community overwhelmingly expressed they want a change and showed up to the home to make sure it starts on 20th Street.
The laws need to be changed. That's important.
What brought you out here today?
The viral moment in your story. It's actually all over the world. Do you know that? It's like everywhere, not just in the DMV area. It's everywhere. The whole business idea, like, for real. I'm trying to put her out too. I think we all just trying to put her out. We all want her out. The whole DMV wants her out of this lady's home.
Look how much stuff she got. And this isn't even everything. This is just what they've sat out so far. It's the audacity for me, man. That's the part that I can never get over. The sheer audacity of this woman to not want to pay rent anywhere, but she wants to go on trips and whatnot. And another thing, she's got a kid. She's got a young kid. I don't know why this particular news outlet, because they were the main ones covering it, but they never mentioned the kid. CPS, I got called out to the house because the homeowner had gotten the electricity cut off, and she brought the kid to the house, which you can't do. You can't have a kid in a house with no electricity, like knowingly. So they came out there. That was a whole mess. She got some man. I don't even know what to say about him, man. I mean, in my opinion, that speaks of a man's character to be with a woman with full knowledge of the fact that she doing some stuff like this and you going along with it. I believe the man, I don't know if they live together permanently, but the man has been seen here coming in and out.
Groups of onlookers invested in the story said they want to ensure everything is out and that taking advantage of community members stops.
Whatever she need, I'm gonna help her get it out today. Whatever she need, right now today. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So if she need, like, if she got a couple of people out here, and, I'm just letting her know that she got the support. She need to get this stuff about this lady house.
You can see the...
Oh, we can finally see what it says. Public notice, unauthorized occupant, no lease, no tenancy, no authorization, legal action in progress. The hanging the towel or blanket out of the window to partially cover it, I'm like, we all know the sign is there, and everyone knows you're in this place unwanted because this became such a national thing. So just stupid stuff, just doing really stupid stuff.
The sign that has been hung on this home for some months now, the blanket that Romero put to cover it, obviously taken down at this point. And I spoke to neighbors who told me that Romero did come to the home last night to retrieve some of her items that were put out in the back. Now coming up at 6, you'll hear more from council members as well as their reactions to our reports. Now reporting live from Northeast DC, Felicia Ashley, 7 News.
And we are also hearing now from Airbnb, the platform that Romero used to first book the home. The company saw our reporting and tracked the progress of this case. They say once a host and customer agree to a payment outside of Airbnb, the host loses all protections. The company has kicked Romero off the platform, though. And we've been covering this case for
Airbnb,
now, and it's gotten a lot of very
we ain't got nothing to do with it, bro.
From our viewers. So let's take a look here. Do you think that DC should change its housing laws to prevent squatting? We're going to put this up on your screen now so you can take a closer look, and you can scan the QR code that's on your
I can't believe
screen
3% of the voters said no.
The answer has been yes, 97%. Again, that QR code takes
this should be a 100%
where
yes.
You'll find all of our prior coverage on this wild case.
I have had people reaching out to the stores that my products in. I've had people reaching out to the schools that I have mentored girls in. I've had people reaching out to organizations that I've done free events for. Mind you, about 98 to 99% of the work that I have done has been for me.
I completely support people reaching out to schools where she's mentoring girls. She doesn't need to be mentoring anybody. She's an absolute embarrassment to herself and to the people, around her. What lessons can you teach the next generation of young women? You have to lead by example. And when you're doing stuff like this, you a single baby mama, staying in different places, squatting, not paying rent, taking vacations. I mean, just extremely ghetto, fabulous lifestyle. And then you want to come on here with crocodile tears and tell your story like, oh, it's a misunderstanding. You're the victim. The woman whose mortgage on that property has went from 4,000 to 10,000 a month because of you. She's not the victim. You are. The audacity, man.
Even when I needed help, I've helped because I've always thought there's somebody out here worse than me.
You thought
Today
wrong.
in court, it was proven, or it was admitted, that the false narrative that I have been staying at a place since February and that someone has been trying to get me out since March, it was untrue.
It wasn't a false narrative. That was literally the reason why you were kicked out. Like that, it's not untrue. It's well documented. It's now public information now that anyone can look up. It's not untrue. What you're saying is untrue.
The narrative that I had been staying at a place since February and had not made a payment since March, that was also untrue. It was admitted on record that payments had been received up until the end of September.
No.
Now there is a payment in question. Somehow that payment wasn't received.
No, she tried to produce a false document saying that she had been paying up till September and it didn't work. And now she's claiming that after that, another payment was made that conveniently somehow got lost and she can't provide any receipt for it. You can't provide any money order receipt for it. You can't provide any Cash App, receipt for it. You have no way. The payment didn't happen. Like, this lady doesn't pay anybody. She's some struggling wannabe entrepreneur. I mean, she focusing on all the wrong stuff. This lady, bottom line is, not everybody's cut out to own a business. Not everybody's cut out to be a CEO. She need to get a job instead of being on this bum shit. She really need to get a job.
I don't know, but there's a payment. There's only one payment in question. So the narrative that I have been staying at a place since March and not making any payments.
She keeps saying that. I guess she thinks if she says it enough times, that makes it reality.
That showed that I did not initiate the switching from Airbnb to direct payments to the owner, and some scheme to circumvent a process that wasn't the case. Those direct payments were sent, those direct links were sent willingly. Not only willingly, but they were initiated by the other party. Although it was decided that I don't have tenant rights, those things were untrue. And to get on the news to say things that are untrue shows a lot about a person's character and shows that they had malicious intent because they knew it would go off like this. And the thing about the truth is that the truth doesn't always, it's not heard as loud as the lie is. So the damage that this has caused, irreparable. I'm going to take some time away because, as I said, this has been the hardest. Everything that I do with my business, I do it with love. Everything I do with my nonprofit, I do with love. And I can't do either right now with the amount of pain that is in my heart. To those who waited to make their judgment, to get the facts that the shit just wasn't true. Thank you. To the people who made their decision and left comments, the people who know me or have known me.
No, she for real didn't found a way to cry.
And y'all wouldn't say it to my face. I wish, as I always wish, I hope you know love up close. And the thing about it is, when you know love up close, you move differently. You don't move to find things about somebody and break them down. You don't do that. You don't make fake pages and fake numbers to arrest people. You don't do that when you're moving with love.
When you move with love and when you know love up close, so how a person navigates the world is by paying the first month of something and then just skipping out on the rest of it, even with a vehicle. Let's not forget that part. She hasn't just done this when it comes to rental properties. She did this with a vehicle as well. She paid the first month on the note and just decided she was going to drive it forevermore. It could be the vehicle that she's in right now, as far as we know. But she decides, hey, I'll just pay the first month to just get the keys and, they'll catch me when they can.
And when you know love up close, and because I know love up close, I know I will be okay. I might not be okay in this moment, but I will be, because I have some people who will make sure that when I'm too deep in the trenches.
Why couldn't you stay with those people?
That's all I got.
Unbelievable, man. The nerve, the audacity of this woman is crazy. It is off the charts. May this level of arrogance and delusion never find me. I'm going to leave it there, though, you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. This has been a crazy saga. And to make it worse, we didn't even cover everything, man. We just kind of hit the high points. But there was a lot of details. This video would have ended up being probably a good hour and a half long if I would have provided everything. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, though. I'm going to holler at y'all soon. Peace.